In my view, the Discovering Safety program's been an incredibly valuable resource for HSE, and it's worked two ways. It's worked both internally for HSE, and it's worked externally in the way we've been able to influence the industry.
HSE as a regulator has a dual role in actually ensuring good health and safety practice. On the one hand, we as a regulator can use innovation and use technology to better target our regulatory enforcement activities. On the other hand, HSE as a regulator has a duty to support industry in meeting their regulatory responsibilities. Health and safety as a community is often accused of being slow on the uptake of new and emerging technologies. And I think one of the reasons for this is that the regulator, industry and tech firms do their thinking in silos.
So we worked closely with industry and technology companies to start building an audience base for the application of industrial safety tech, helping to foster the application of innovation to maintain Great Britain as one of the safest places to work.
Feedback and understand why. We work in the civil engineering sector, so it's quite a diverse portfolio. Some of the challenges are very traditional risks. It's important to be trying to continually improve in safety tech. I think it's important. It needs to be realistic. It needs to be tech that really is useful, efficient, to help improve the safety of the industry. But it needs to be things that are actually going to have some longevity and stick, so that people actually adopt it, share it, and everybody uses it.
One of the leading causes of fatalities on construction sites is around people working too close to large bits of plants and ultimately having life-changing or life-threatening injuries. And I think there's a really smart solution out there, not long from now, that will eliminate the potential for people to ever be hurt by a moving vehicle. And the construction industry is really looking at that with a real appetite for change.
Boxes, for me, they're too far apart. We need to do more of these because we're trying to move industry forward, and the way that we move industry forward is by getting everyone to sit down in a room and actually talk about it. And just by people sitting down and talking about it, we're actually starting that ball rolling, and as soon as we start getting that momentum going, then we're going to actually strive for those changes that we all want. It's very unique. There's lots of start-up companies out there wanting to try and get a foothold into industry, trying to get a foothold into big businesses to understand how they can use their product. What is the validity of the product? Will it work? Is it needed? And having these frank conversations to understand, is it needed industry? Is there an actual need for it? But without having these conversations, bringing everyone together, sitting down and actually talking through it, we're not going to, then no one's going to know.
In the real world, if you talk about health and safety executive, I'm a safety practitioner. I'm quite relaxed having conversations with a health and safety executive. The stimulus of their regulator prevents people having conversations. So I think something like the sandbox to say, look, there's it's all about sharing. It's all about those experiences. How can we collectively work together and come away from that old bias towards regulator? Then we're going to win, aren't we? And that's what we have to embrace.